Hello, welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Bell's Brewing Company out of Comstock, Michigan. This beer is called Blackbeard's Bear Hug. It is an Imperial Stout aged in rum barrels with vanilla, cinnamon, and coconut. And I have had this one other time, but it was like 3 years ago at Fobab, the Festival of Barrel Aged Beers in Chicago. And I think it actually won something at that, if I remember correctly. But it was keg only. This is the first time they've actually bottled it, and this was not distributed. This was only sold in the general store. I mean, it might have made it outside of the general store, but it was definitely just only like locally around the brewery, as far as I know. The description says, Avast ye, this batch of Bear Hug was aged in rum barrels with vanilla beans, toasted coconut, and a pinch of cinnamon. These flavors complement waves of dark rum and chocolate to make this Imperial Stout perfect for pirates or bears or both. And this is 14.4 ABV, which is pretty huge for a Bell's beer. I mean, that's like 4% bigger than regular Expedition. Of course, it's gaining some from the barrel. And I have heard that this is very, very barrel forward, so we'll see. And again, that one I had a couple years ago, I'm assuming this is not the same batch, so it's still not like the same beer, which is cool. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not a good sign. I don't even know. That's really weird. I guess I wasn't shaking it, but I was tilting it and moving it around, like I was rolling it under my shirt to try to warm it up a little bit. But I still wouldn't have expected that from such a big beer. I hope this isn't infected. Actually, I have seen pictures of this, and there's coconut floaties in it, and I can even see, I don't know if you can, I don't want to spill the beer, but I don't know if you can even see in there's like a bunch of chunks and stuff floating around there, which is that coconut particles, which is really interesting for these guys, because everything they generally do is like so precise and clean, but maybe they're getting into the game of just adding a crap load of stuff into it. And I will say too, when I looked in there, I got a whiff, and it was a lot of rum. And I will say I don't hate rum barrel stuff, but I'm generally a much bigger fan of bourbon barrel stuff. But whenever the rum barrel stuff is done like really well, I actually really appreciate it a lot. Now I'm gonna take my phone and just tilt it down in the glass for a second. You can see there is some floaties in there. I believe that's coconut, like very small pieces of coconut there. But yeah, it's interesting. I've never seen a Bell's beer that had chunks floating in it, so I'm not particularly concerned that there's anything wrong with it. I've seen a bunch of other pictures, and like I said, they all had chunks in it, so. So I'll get to the color of it. This actually looks lighter than some of their other big stouts. It doesn't look quite as, or I would even say nearly as dark as Expedition or like the Batch 9000 or 30th anniversary. It kind of does have a brown hue on the outside edges of it, but I mean it is still pretty dark. The aroma on this is lots of dark chocolate and fudge. I definitely get a little bit of cinnamon and coconut, but it is so much rum. But it honestly just smells like this is going to be a decadent beer. I'm really excited. I know it's kind of silly to say, like, I don't think you can technically smell sugar. You just smell things that smell like sweet things. But it doesn't smell like it's going to be obtrusively sweet, which I wouldn't expect from these guys. Oh, man. I'm sorry, I can't stop smelling this. It smells amazing, and you can even see more of the chunks on the outside there. But oh, man, that will put hair on your chest. Holy hell! It is so rum forward, but there's so much else going on in it. Wow. I would say, you know what this actually reminds me a lot of? And I think maybe because it's a little lighter of a stout than what they usually do, not in ABV, but in color. This actually reminds me a lot of the Fremont Abominable beers, like the coffee cinnamon one. And I know this doesn't have coffee in it, but it just, that big giant boozy character. The one thing I like about Abominable is it's not super sweet. It's one of those big giant beers that isn't super sweet, but still has a good amount of the flavors from the things added. But it's also they're also balanced and nothing is like out of the way. And usually the most predominant flavor is the barrel, which in those it's bourbon. Here it's rum, but it's kind of just similar takes. It's just you can tell the taste difference between bourbon and rum, of course. But I do get the cinnamon, the coconut, and the vanilla, which is awesome. But all of them are like subtle. None of them are dominating, but they're all there, which really shows, some ability as a brewer to take this. I don't know. I'm assuming that they added the stuff in the barrel. Like, I can't imagine they added this stuff and then aged it in a barrel for like a year after that. I don't know how long this was aged, but I'm just giving a rough estimate because I would think those things would have faded by now. But I mean, maybe not, because look how much coconut is in there. I mean, there's all this stuff. Obviously, they didn't filter it very well, which is fine. Yeah. There's so much booze in this. It's crazy. But I love how you get a little bit of vanilla, a little bit cinnamon, a little bit coconut, and a ton of like dark, very dark, like baker's chocolate too. And so I did get a 4-pack of this, and my intention was to drink one, maybe two fresh, and drink another one in a year, see if the booze fell off a little bit. I can tell the base of this, like even if those other flavors fall off a little bit, the base, if the booze mellows out a little bit, is going to be like an awesome beer. So I might try to get another 4-pack and maybe drink one of these like every, I don't know, 4 months or so. Just to drink it through, within 2 to 3 years and see how it changes every 4 to 6 months. Yeah, it's really weird. I can really see through like the bottom of this. It's kind of red. This is not as dark as some of their other stouts. I think the base of this is only like 9.5, unless they change the base for the barrel age version. I'm pretty sure I looked it up, and the base for this is like 9.5, which doesn't necessarily coincide with the SRM. It's a lot of times it does, but at the same time, if you're telling me they got 5% from the barrels, that's insane too. So I have no idea, and I don't know like how much residual sugar is in coconut that really affects the. I can't imagine it's very much. I mean, coconut's not very sugary. That's why people use it for keto stuff. I'm not gonna lie. This is almost like drinking. This is almost like drinking a spirit. That's how hot it is. Uh, but I love that because it makes you go so slow. And I am absolutely going to try to get more of this. This is fantastic. And I think it's only going to get better with age. I would say I love the adjuncts where they are. And I know that's not the correct word. The additives, whatever. I guess coconut's technically an adjunct because it has sugar in it. But the other two aren't. I love those where they are. I just wish the barrel was like slightly less hot. Uh, it's still fantastic, and I think with age, it's gonna get so much better. Even if, like I said, they fade, the flavors fade. I think the base beer itself and the barrels is gonna turn into something incredible. But even right now, as hot as it is, it's still an awesome beer, and I'm definitely gonna buy more of this. Well, I'm not going to personally buy more of it, but I'm going to try to trade for some more of it because I really, really like this. It is, and I'm feeling it in my chest and my stomach right now. This is a massive, massive beer. But that's what happens when you drink a 14.5% beer and it isn't so sugar laden that it covers up the booze. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like those giant, giant, sweet, sweet stouts that are like 15%. They don't taste 15% because the sugar's covering it all up. Why do you think people can drink jungle juice? Because there's so much sugar in it. If you get a 14, 15% beer and it's not like overly sweet, you're gonna feel the booze. That's just how it is. So, but I think that's all I got in this one. I am so happy that I traded for this, and I can't wait to get more. Don't sleep on this. Search it out. I know it was only available at the general store, but from the things I've seen it going for, it's not that hard to get. Because I still think, it was limited for Bell standards, but limited to them is probably like, I don't know, 500 cases or something like that. So it's not. I'm sure you can find someone who has it to get at least a 4-pack, but. Anyways, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.